So in this video, we're going to be working with sequin fabric. I've just taken my half scale dress form here and cut off just a very small section of this geometric sequin fabric that I have laying around. It is a mesh fabric where they've just taken the sequins and packed them together and created this geometric shape. So this is just a piece of a sample that I had laying around, and I just thought it'd be a great way to just comprehensively show you guys how to work with sequin and some of the best practices so that your garments can come out the way you like. I would have to say that sequin is a little bit trickier to deal with because even before you can really begin the design process, there's quite a few steps that you have to take to ensure that you're not going to break needles and different things like that. So this is just pretty much me draping and showing you guys how this particular sequin fabric lays, and you'll just be able to see like some of the designs I'm trying to like figure out how exactly to drape this on the form. So I decided to go ahead with a very simple sort of crop tube top style piece just for the sake of the video so that we can have an idea of how sequin works together. So I'm just going to very quickly pin some darts into the fabric so that we have some shape and mold to it. This is not the way I would do it if I was actually sewing the dress, but for the sake of just this video demonstration and really showing you guys how to mark your sequins so that you know exactly where you need to start picking away at the sequins and the seams so that you can sew through your sewing machine. I just want you guys to have an idea of just the standard way that I go about doing this. So I've identified my line, and now I'm going to get my thread and go along that side seam line in this very bright contrasting red that I'm trying to use, and I'm going to use that and hand sew on top of the sequin this sort of guiding line, and that's going to let me know where my side seam is at so that when it's time for me to pull this away from the dress form, I know exactly where my side seam is so that I know where to pick the sequins from. So that is why I'm doing this line. This is a standard tailoring tracing line that I'm creating using thread. So here's the line. As you can see, we have it there. It's on our side seam, and that is going to be the guide that we're going to use so that we know once this is taken off the dress form where we're going to start beginning to pick away the sequins. And I'm just cutting away the excess here at the bottom just so I have like a full shape of this little top that I'm making and it doesn't look strange when I'm taking it off of this dress form. So this is just me preparing to pin it off of the dress form, take it off the dress form. So here I am cutting away from that tracing mark because I'm trying to create seam allowance for my garment so that I have that space to sew. Okay, so now this is ready to be taken off of the dress form. So here I'm just taking the pieces off with the pins, kind of letting you guys know what that side seam looks like as you can see through it. On this side is the side that we're actually going to focus on where I have that red thread marking. So that's really the side that I'm going to be spending time on this the rest of this lesson, and you can just see there. I'm going to give you guys a forewarning. Cuticles were not on point, so don't even in the comments, okay guys? All right, so moving forward, we just go in there and we just clip away from that line, from that tracing line, and it's really tedious, but the results are great, and you prevent your needle from breaking if you go in and take this measure of removing each piece of sequin from that seam line. And then it looks a little something like that, where you can see like those sequin are missing. If you look a little closer, you will see, it's hard to see with this design, but I did remove the sequin from that area. I would probably go ahead and remove even more, probably even more into the seam allowance, just so that there was no chance that my machine needle was going to get caught in there and break off. And I would also recommend wearing goggles just in case the sequin flies in your face or that needle does break off. You don't want it to fly in your eye. So I would definitely recommend when you're working with sequin to wear some sort of protective eye gear, whether that's goggles or glasses, something to protect your eyes. And again, this is just me showing you guys what that's supposed to look like when it's all said and done. And this is just the final view of the way this looks. And again, I just want to have you guys just have a look at what it looks like when you're removing sequin so that you can sew a seam. I would recommend this system with any sequin garment that you're working on. It really just ensures again that you're not breaking needles and that you get precision seams and precision sewing, and it doesn't look like, you know, somebody unprofessional did it. It looks professional, it looks clean, and it's easier on your sewing machine. Once that's all done and you're ready to sew it up and you're finished, you will have to hand sew all those tiny pieces of sequin back onto the garment. So I wouldn't throw them away. I would make sure as they're coming off the garment, sequin makes a huge mess, so I would definitely say put something to cover your table and other areas because it's going to be everywhere all over you. Wear an apron if you have one because it's going to be a mess. For more detailed information regarding the most commonly used fabrics and special occasions dressmaking, please head to the link in the description for my specialty fabrics ebook. I go into full detail. There's pictures there, an explanation of how to use the fabrics, and the tips for the best possible outcome. Visit the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Videos are uploaded weekly covering dressmaking, fashion, lectures, and more.